Street. You always took the tram car.
Sorry?
Tram car we
Tram
had in
car.
the days.
Yeah.
Not like the big things they've got nowadays, they were smaller.
Oh, like those, or there'll be a driver who actually drives the tram, the train conductor who drives the tram. Is that
I used to
those
have a
kind of things?
conductor,
Yeah.
and the driver who used to, anybody with a pram, used to put it behind the driver if we let them.
Oh.
That's the only way you, not like nowadays.
It was all
sure.
automatic and everything.
Aye.
Wow.
And then when the driver reached the terminus, all he did was pick up his seat, his handle, and go to the other end of the tram and put it in. And
then
that
go
was
the other
the
way.
other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how they did it.
Did you have you been to like the south side of Edinburgh, like Newington area and everything, or you stuck only through Princess Street and Leith?
Well, we used to stick to Princess Street and Leith because you didn't have big centres like you've got now. Like you've got Cameron, Toll, and all these places. You didn't have the kind of places
So
then.
that was completely like didn't exist. No one ever lived over there or anything.
No,
So
no,
it was only the
that
central.
was freshly built.
Oh, so it's not like okay.
No.
So when do you know when it started? They started building over there.
Well, they used to have what they called prefabs.
Pre?
Prefabs.
Free.
You lived in prefabs.
Okay.
You didn't have tenements like they have now.
Yeah.
They had prefabricated houses.
Yeah.
And they were really comfortable inside, rather than tenements. So you had your own main door. You know, everything was your own.
Tenements, I think you have to share it with other people, right? It used to be like one main door and then there's a huge hallway with
You had a main
several
door
doors.
and a wee plot, a wee garden, maybe about the size of this, at the front. With a garden, just a small one. I never lived in one, but I used to see them often. And then they actually used them after the war as a prisoner of war camp, but the house, the Italian prisoner of war in them. They used to use
So
them
as refuge.
down at Granton and that.
Granton was a place where all the.
They built a POW camp there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So. But as I say, during the war it was an adventure to us. And your only entertainment was the cinema.
Oh, was there cinemas at that?
You went to the cinema. And that's where everybody went, to the cinema.
It's not like it used to be like how was the cinema experience those
Well, the
days?
cinemas are different because now you've got all the different screens. You only had one there, and it used to change twice a week. You had Monday to Wednesday was one film,
Yeah.
and then it changed Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You got a different film, and some cinemas used to have children's clubs, and on the Saturday they had special films
Oh,
just for the children. Sometimes made up by the Children's Film Foundation.
Yeah.
They used to make special films just for the youngsters. But the normal film shows you had what you call the big picture and the wee picture. It was an A film and a B film actually. So you had one good film and one
Bad film.
bad film. We used to get a bad film. But at every show you had a newsreel, and that's when you caught up with the lights of the war. British Movietone News, Pathy News, Comet News, all newsreels. And they used to show photographs of different things during the war. Now, you got Hitler there, and everybody would go, boo, boo, and then you'd make a mistake. Suddenly they put a photograph of maybe General Montgomery or Churchill, and some clown would go, hooray! And the next thing you hear, fight, fight, fight! Just because they said the wrong thing.
Oh God, yeah. What was the last, during that time, during the old film, what was the last film you watched in that style? Like you said that there will be one screen and there will be special films that were screened. So what was the film that you seen as a kid like that?
Well, films made by the Children's Film Foundation were famous stars who gave up their time to just do special films. for the children instead of like the main films. So you got real stars doing the
Oh,
children's
they
films.
used to come
Yeah.
in person and do it.
I used to make they
Oh.
went along, and they used to have every week. They used to have a serial,
Okay.
which you only saw maybe 15 minutes, and then it would suddenly stop. To be continued next week.
A cliffhanger, basically.
So you had to go to the following week to see the next part of that was the serial. You know, it could be a cowboy picture, it could be any kind of subject. But mostly it was cowboy westerns,
Mm-hmm.
or you got the occasional musical. And that was it.
What was the last musical that you've seen? In
The last one I mean of that was Singing in the Rain,
Singing in the Rain. I've not seen that one.
Gene Kelly.
I've seen Grease. I've seen I've seen Grease. That's the last. That's the oldest musical I've seen.
Aye.
Sing. Yeah,
Aye.
Singing in the Rain. I should really watch that film.
And being with the Imperial War crowd, I found out a lot of the film stars came to Great Britain during the war.
Yeah.
Right, so Clark Gable, he'd come with the wind.
Yeah, I've seen that film. Yeah.
He was a bomber pilot.
What?
He flew from England. He was doing bombing raids. That was Clark Gable. And I don't know if you heard of it, Audrey Hepburn.
I have. Yeah.
Well, Audrey Hepburn, as a child at school, was running messages for the Dutch resistance.
Oh wow.
Her and her mum and her uncle, but her uncle got caught, he got shot, but the other two got away with it. And they always said it was her innocent wee face, but the Germans ignored her, and she was able to carry messages for them.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's a few stories where the war runs with it.
How did you know about all this? Like, did someone recently tell you that, or did you?
I get information from the Imperial War Museum. All the records are kept here.
Oh, okay.
Every record that you've got in that. Everybody that was killed in the wars in that as well. And well, one of the easiest ones I found, people ask me in here, can you find out about this, can you find out about that? Is if anybody sunk by a submarine, or sunk by, if a submarine sunk a ship, that was easy because I had a lady in one time. She should have been evacuated. Now during the war they had evacuation, but that was up to your parents whether they wanted you to leave or to stay at home. I personally, I stayed at home. That's why I was here. But I had a lady in, her and her brother were to go to be evacuated. She couldn't travel because she caught the measles, but her brother did. And the ship was sunk.
Oh
And
god.
she come in here and she says, could you find that out for me? I said, yeah, no problem. And I got her the actual name of the ship, exactly the date it was sunk, and who the U-boat commander was that sunk it.
Oh wow.
So she was quite happy. Tried to find out exactly where it was. So in the Atlantic it was actually sunk. But the Germans were pretty meticulous on keeping records, especially on the submarines.
So that's why all the records are still there,
All the
For
records
now.
are still there.
and
All the
then
records
so
are
you
still
can
there.
like go back and see the family names who passed
Aye.
away during the war.
And then, well, this year, it's the anniversary of the D-Day. It's the
Also
75th anniversary of the D-Day landings.
on the D-Day landings.
Yeah, that's
What are the D-Day landings?
going to Normandy and freeing the people there, landing in Normandy,
Okay.
going out to France and all these places. We attacked it, our ship, and the Americans, that they landed on the 6th of June.
Mhm.
That was the start of them going there, and then they went right through the war to the end. So that's what we're doing now. Is
Was it last year or the year before last that it was the 100th anniversary of the
That was the
Pop.
that was the centenary of the First World War.
Okay,
That was 100 years.
okay.
We did that last year.
Mhm.
We're stopping it this year. The Imperial Women's Youth stopping it because they're going to update all the records into digital form,
Mhm.
and it's going to take about 3 months to do that. So I'm not to take any information on the First World War
Yeah.
until after
After 3 months
that is
when they
finished,
update
and
it
then
and everything.
get back to normal.
Yeah.
Because you get people going, could you find out my granddad that's what he served? Then we were able to tell him what battles he was in, where he was in. The funny thing is with the Imperial War Museum, it's easier to find if somebody who was killed than it is to find if somebody who has survived,
Oh,
because they kept the records of the people that died,
yeah.
but not really the people who lived.
Wow.
The Red Cross sent all
Because
their
you'll have to
information.
like, before going out to war, they have to write down every name
Yeah.
who goes out, and then like any person who's dead.
There's over 44,000 records.
Wow.
There's plenty of records. But if you've got a person's what you call service number,
Yeah.
that's half the battle. You have no problem getting in then that way.
Wow.
You can get it. It's just a name, and you've got to be probably you're able to tell them where the battle were and all that, but know the individual person. So,
I think the National Museum allows the public to see the archives if you ask them special permission. Maybe?
you can see the archives if you go to London.
And
That's where they're all based. But a lot of the records were lost during the war because the Imperial War Museum was bombed,
Mm.
and they lost a lot of the records. They're gradually getting up to date with them, people finding things and passing it on. They're gradually putting it back together again.
So during the wartime, anyone who was strong and able-bodied was sent, like
Yeah. Everybody went.
the general would like send a, like, what do you say, a general announcement saying all the men in the family who are like who are strong and able-bodied
Yeah, if you-
were to go.
Well, between 18 and 45, you were what they call called up. You were told to report to such and such a place. The one thing you didn't get in the army or any of the forces, if you had flat feet,
Oh, okay.
they didn't accept you.
Why? Why is that? Because you're flat feet.
Possibly because of the boots.
Okay.
But if you had flat feet, you were excused to service, military service.
Did you ever do did you do did you go into service when you returned?
I did service, but it was national service.
Okay.
I was called up, it was national service. I didn't find any worse.
What is national service?
Well, when you were 18, you had to go into either the Army, the Navy or the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
compulsory, and serve 2 years, everybody.
Wow.
So you had to, like if you were working, you need to tell your gaffer or your workman, I'm called up, going to do, will you keep my job up for me till I come back?
Wow.
And that was it. That was called up. But they also had what they call conscientious objectors.
Conscientious objector.
Conscientious objectors.
Mm.
That is people who refused to carry a rifle or kill somebody.
Mhm.
They didn't want to do that. And they were punished by even jailed, or some of them joined the medical corps and they were doing stretcher bearing.
Wow.
They were allowed to do that rather than carry a rifle.
Mm.
So that was it. Conscious objectors.
That's scary, honestly. Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely
no
to talk
problem.
to you. Yeah.
No problem.
I'm gonna like stop the recording now so that I can like
Yeah.
go down the shop and.
And I'll show you the photographs out there of the Germans with the